Today we're gonna code lots with Mr. Kim Philpotts, and oh, how amazing you'll be.
Hello everyone, welcome back. Happy Easter, Lewis, and welcome anyone else who's joining. So what are we doing? We're working on a. Hey Dragon, how you doing? How was your game of Autonauts? I haven't played that, but yeah, it's Friday. It's Easter Friday. It was pretty fun. Good to hear, Dragon. Beautiful. All right, this is what we're going to work on. No, this is what we're going to work on. we're going to continue working on this. So we spent a couple of sessions on this one already. I've got it running actually. Let's have a look at where we're up to and work out what we need to get done today. Let me find my little window first of all. Beautiful. All right. Here's our application. Hey Rob, how you doing? Happy Easter Friday, or probably Thursday for those of you in other parts of the world. And Dragon, you did your first deep dive into CI/CD pipelines. So you got your Xamarin application working. Beautiful. And Rod, hey Rod, how you doing? Welcome. All right, fantastic. So this is what we've been working on. We've been trying to reproduce this UI, and I should just actually come back here for a second and just show you what we have. So this is a Xamarin.Forms UI challenge. We're having a look at this Dribble travel application. It's Rob says it's Monday. I don't think it's Monday. So this is the UI challenge we're trying to do. It's kind of interesting because it's got video, and I haven't played around with video in Xamarin.Forms before this one. So we're using the media element in this, and we've done a bit of stuff. We've still got some things to do. So first of all, let me just put a couple of links out here. So that's the UI challenge, and if I go into show my GitHub here, that's where the code's going to be available. All right, cool. So let's have a look at how we're doing so far. Here's a video of the application. Here's our version of the application. Now let's have a look at what we have. So we're sort of starting off here. Let me see if I can get this in sync. Oh. There we are. So let me rewind that there a bit, and let's see if we can get the timings about right. Oops, almost. So we got some of the elements coming here. So I think what we need to do is we need to get some fonts going inside of here. We need our little aeroplane icon in there as well. So that's, but you know, basically we've got some of it in play already. Rob says, I have no idea what day it is anymore. Yeah, I'm the same because I'm sort of stuck at home, don't even get to go out. So no idea what day it is, but my little clock here tells me it's Friday, 10th of April, for me anyway. So yeah, Matt, how you doing, Matt? Days of the week are a thing from the before time. Absolutely. And did I see Sharknado released acrylic material frame? Yeah, I did see that actually. It does look really cool. So yeah, that's something. It'll go out in the Weekly Xamarin actually. So for those of you who don't subscribe to Weekly Xamarin, do that. We put that out every Friday, and get all the links from the community for the week. Anyway. Okay, so we've got the basics going. Where shall we start? What do you think? Should we start with that airplane icon? Because I did a little bit of work. I actually created myself an airplane icon. Maybe we'll start there and get that sort of popping in. All right, beautiful. All right, so what I did, just sort of playing around, I got my good old friend Adobe XD, and I basically imported the screen here and the icon that we have. And of course, from the video, it's pretty low res. So what I did is I basically went and recreated this just using a bunch of vectors. I thought I'd do this before the stream because nobody wants to see me fail Adobe XD. But we basically have this this icon here. So that's our plane that we're going to use. All right, cool. So I'm going to start off exporting this out. Let me see if I can remember where I've even put this. In the travel app. Okay, I'm getting this from my images here. Beautiful. All right, back over to Visual Studio. Let's have a look at Visual Studio. Did I already include it in the project? Maybe I did. Let's have a look. Yeah, it looks like I did. I already brought it in. Beautiful. Let's have a look at its properties. Make sure that it's an embedded resource. We want an embedded resource, don't we? I'm never sure what to put. Hey, good morning, Lachlan. And hi, Travidar. Welcome. Lachlan cheered 50 bits. Thanks, Lachlan. Let's put a little special thanks in for Lachlan. By the way, Lachlan is streaming as well these days. So on a Wednesday morning here in Australia, Lachlan is streaming that out. Lachlan, maybe you could. I reckon it's going to be Lachlan W. Gordon. There we are. So Lachlan's doing some cool stuff with implementing a application for the Melbourne meetup. Yeah, so if you're bored on a Wednesday, go and have a look at his stream, even if you're not bored. Thanks for the 50 biddies. All right, beautiful. All right, do I need to copy this to the output directory? I never know. Dragon's bored every day. Fantastic. All right. Cool. So we have that. Now, what we want to do then is we want to go and get our aircraft image. So we should create one, basically what am I thinking? I should an SK bitmap. Do I need an SK bitmap? I probably do. And we'll call this aircraft image. Spoiler alert, I just saw a tweet there. Build action's the worst. Agree, Lachlan. No channels are broadcasting in full HD anymore. Anyway, oh, I see. That was that was a tweet about Lachlan joking about me just getting to grips with new video formats. All right, so we're going to aircraft image. So what we want to do is we want to load this puppy up, right? So let's do this. Bitmap extensions, load bitmap resource. So this is an extension method from basically an extension method. I have a bitmap extensions spelt wrong, by the way. Should rename that. All right, and what we want is we're going to get that embedded resource. Travel app.images.aircraft PNG. Beautiful. All right, now we want to go. Dragon says, I saw a giant YouTube video dump you did today. I did. I actually went through some of my old videos and uploaded them onto the YouTube channel. And I'll do those after this one as well. I'll do another dump, Lachlan. All right. So somewhere around here, we draw ourselves a circle. We clip a background rect. We draw our center circle. Okay, inside of there, we then clip that. So we probably want to do it before we do that. Better words could have been chosen. Perhaps, I don't know. They're fun words. All right. Now, what do we want to do? We want to say something like this. We want to say, aircraft rect. There's a new SK rect. And I guess what we want to work out here is how big we want this to be. So, let's go. So this is where we've got our circle in the middle. Let's create a rect about the right size. Here's another way we can do this. We can say, instead of trying to calculate those left and right, so I could do this. I could say, let's take, put it at 0, 0. We have a circle radius, right? So the circle radius is, of course, half of it. So we'll times it by 2. And then that's the width. And then we'll do that there as well. In fact, I might create myself another quick float here. Just to make it a little bit nicer. It's going to be a square image, I think. All right, something like that. Okay, and then what we can do is we can say, let's position it. So Dragon asked a question, do you always need to handle the pixel density when drawing with Skia or only in some cases? Always, as I understand. Although there is a way that you can set a multiplier. I haven't really investigated it, but I think you can do something like you could set a multiplier to the density and then you could not bother with pixels. But regardless, I think Skier Sharp always deals with pixels. So that's something I should have a look at, actually. In fact, I'm going to make myself a little note here. Can we simplify densities with Skier Sharp? Yeah, so Lachlan says if you set the scale, you can work in any unit you like. I think that's right. Lachlan works in meters. Okay. So what I could do here is I could say the location aircraft rect.location. And that wants a SK point. And we want this to be the width divided by 2. I hate doing these divisions. You're not joking. Well, whatever works for you. All right. So I'll say the info width divided by 2 minus the aircraft size divided by 2. That makes sense? So halfway minus half the width. I think that works. Okay. And then we want to draw this at the top of the flyout. So we have a flyout pos, which is up here. Minus half the aircraft size, right? Maybe. And because the circle radius is animated, it should actually handle the scaling of it, right? And so then I can say, draw the bitmap. And our bitmap is called aircraft image at the aircraft rect. Let's have a look at the overloads for this puppy. Okay, and we want it to be bitmap stretch dot bitmap stretch dot fit, and we'll have the bitmap alignment to be the center. It is by default. So I think I can just do that, right? All right. Aircraft size divided by 2 is just the circle radius. That's true, but let's have a look. I think the problem is I've got to shrink it down. That's why I created a variable here. Gotta work out what's going with this hot reload or raise a bug for it. Let's see. Yeah, see. So I got my aircraft, right? But that's what I thought, right? Because it's actually drawing it on the rect of the circle. And the rect of the circle is actually this outer circle here. So we need to shrink that puppy down. I thought that would be the case. So then I could get that. And I really hate doing these magic number stuff. So I don't know, like 0.7 maybe. Dragon says, I installed the preview version of ES yesterday to test Hotwrite's restart, and every time I try to launch the app on an iPhone connected to my Windows computer, it says to select a valid device first. I don't know. I think down here, if I have a look, yeah, I've still got an update to do. So yeah, Lewis says the fun part's when you try to explain those magic numbers later on. Exactly. See how we go here. All right. That's probably not too bad. Let's get our hot reload to reload. Yeah, it's not too bad. Let's have a look at our video, see how big it really is. It's probably a little bit too big. So let's change that. Multiply. I mean, what would you do, Lewis? Would you do this? Would you say... Hey, where's my cursor going? I'm still running. Lewis is no help because he's a magic number guy too. All right, fair enough. Times by like 0.6. I mean, I just meant for testing purposes. You know what I was thinking? I've been thinking about some kind of weird debug rainbows extension for magic numbers. Hey, Glenn.
Today we're gonna code lots with Mr. Kim, Phil Potts, and oh, how amazing you'll be.
Streaming on a Friday makes it a good Friday. You make it a good Friday, Glenn. Let's have a look here. There we are. That's a bit better, isn't it? All right, let's have a look at our video here. Whoa. VLC, what are you doing? VLC turned fat. What are you doing? VLC looking thick. Wow, it's just gone into thick mode. All right. There we go. That's better. Thanks, VLC. Yeah, that probably looks about right. Let's see if we can get this timing right. Beautiful. All right. So what else have we got? We're doing good. We're doing good. Shall we add some fonts? What do you think? F for fonts? All right. Now the challenge, so here's something that I've been doing recently, which is kind of interesting. Check this out. I've been playing around, like I always have to find fonts for things. So I got this app. And what I thought we'd try is embedded fonts. Has anyone done embedded fonts in Xamarin.Forms yet? I haven't played with it. Hi, Tarasag. Sorry if I'm saying that wrong. Hi, welcome. You did, Rob? You've played around with it? It looks really awesome because I hate dealing with embedded fonts. I hate doing fonts on platforms, even though I've got Mfractor, which handles it. But if I can just put the font in one place and not have to deal with info P lists, that is a good day. Okay, this is what I want to show you. And I don't know if it'll work, but let's try. I'm going to share my mobile screen here. Hang on a second. Rob says works great. If Rob says it works, it probably works. Okay, I'm going to do a really dangerous thing. I'm going to share my phone screen. All right, cool. Now, you've used the app I'm about to show? Yeah. So it's a thing called Find My Font, right? And it's a pretty horrible app, right? But it's for finding fonts, right? So the idea is you come in here, you turn on your camera, all right? There you all are. Here I am. All right. So what I can do is I can come along here and I can take a photo of this thing on my screen, I think, right? Hopefully you can see that. All right. And then what it's going to do, let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger here. Right, and off the screen is not the best way of going. But what you can then do is you can select some letters. You can come along here and you can say, okay, I want to select that letter. Right, those letters there, beautiful. And then go next. And then I can say, have a look at that, text to preview, and I can say Google Fonts. And then I can hit search. Looks like Papyrus. Okay, and here's the results it came up with. It didn't come up, I don't see Papyrus. Is that a joke, by the way? Is that like saying Comic Sans? All right. Yeah, Rob says that's one of the ugliest apps I've seen in years. It's terrible. It's a terrible, terrible app, but it works. If I'd love to write them an app if I had access to their proprietary font matching information. So let's have a look. Google Fonts. Absolutely, Glenn. The 90s did call out. That first one looked really close. Yeah, let's have a look at it. Frank Rule Libre. But just for giggles. You're a terrible man, Lachlan. You're a terrible, terrible man. All right. It's not going to be Papyrus. It's going to be Frank Rule Libre. And according to this, it's Frank Rule Libre Black. So it's that one there. All right. All right. So I've downloaded my fonts now. All right. Now I'm going to have to check the docs here because I got no idea how font embedding works in Xamarin.Forms. Adding embedded fonts. Informata. I saw a Xamarin newsletter. This post. Yeah. Okay. So here's a, hey, MJ Freelancing. Happy Easter, everyone. Happy Easter to you. How to use embedded fonts. As of Xamarin.Forms 4.5. Let me check what version of Xamarin.Forms I'm running here. Turn that off. I think I would be using 4.5 at least. Yep, 4.5. Good. What do? We go and add it into our shared project, mark it as an embedded resource. Easy. All right, let's add in put this up here. Put it in a fonts directory. All right, beautiful. And then I'll go and grab that. What was it? It was black, wasn't it? I just got to find it now. Frank Rule Libre Black. There we are. In you go. And then it says, mark this as an embedded resource. Cool. Add the export font attribute into our shared project in our app XAML CS or assembly info. I'm sticking it in the app XAML. Anywhere outside a namespace will work. Okay, cool. So let's go and it says anywhere outside a namespace. Okay. More build actions. Did I not do my build action? Do I need to do that? I don't know. I just do it. Who knows? All right. So we got it. We got our assembly level attribute, blah, blah, blah. And then I should just be able to give it an alias. All right. So let's give it an alias. Oh, you were just complaining. I think he's working on build actions for something. Okay. Oh. Alias equals, let's just call it Frank Rule Libri. Didn't really help. I don't know. What do you think's a good thing here? Should I call this like header font? Maybe. Let's try that. Okay, so now if all is going well, I should just be able to use it, right? Lewis says, be good to add the black if you might use other weights of the font. Yeah, true. Yeah, I don't know what a good standard there would be. Like, yeah, so regular, medium, black, etc. Yep. Yeah, I reckon it's probably, I reckon it'd be like resources, right? Like you name them after how they're being used rather than what they are. So probably the right thing would be, yeah, header font dash black, maybe. Anyway, let's try out a label, see what happens, see if this thing works. This is where, let's go label text equals guns, font family equals, no, I didn't call it Frank. What did I call it? Header font. So yeah, you agree the app design should drive the naming. Most people aren't font nuts. Well, your designers are. They're crazy. Naming something the font name will just confuse others. All right, let's see what happens here. Let's make it a vertical options of end, horizontal options of start. Actually, which one am I doing? Hang on. It's this one here. It's when it's expanded. That's the one that we're after. So it's actually in the center.
Today we're gonna code lots with Mr. Kim, Phil Potts, and
America has joined. Welcome, America. Thanks for the follow. And welcome. We're working on a design. Specifically at the moment, we're working on testing out embedded fonts, see if that works. So I probably want to make this the center then. And we'll say we want our horizontal text alignment to be center. And just for giggles at the moment, let's say our font, our text color is black, just to see what happens. And the font size is 30. We'll just see what we get. That so didn't work. So there it is down the bottom here. All right, so what's going on here? Didn't like that, did it? All right, let's check what we've done. Did I restart the app? I think I restarted the app. Let's give it a restart. That's the most obvious thing. Well, that's, I don't know if you can see that. Let me put this in the center. We'll put it smack bang in the center of the screen. All right, That is not our font. Let's do this. Let's see what happens if we do that. Let's see if it's a problem with our... No, doesn't like that. Who's got some ideas? The label should be in assemblyinfo.cs. It says it doesn't matter where it is. Let's get rid of the alias for a second. Put it in the assembly info just for giggles. It says it doesn't need to be there. Doesn't it need to be in your target projects? No, apparently not. Apparently not. Let's have a look at the official docs here. Using a custom font. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Has to be 4.5 or higher. Build action, embedded resource. Embedded resource, yada, yada, yada. Let's check the version number of Xamarin.Forms first of all. Just make sure we get the exact number. 4.5049 something something. Ah, I think I'm not new enough. There we are. Uh-huh. All right. Let's update Xamarin.Forms. What could go wrong? No. Let's go updates. Luddite. Yeah, let's see what breaks. I've been pretty happy with the upgrade path recently. Rob says go pre. Rob goes pre for everything. I don't go pre for everything. I'm not that brave. I'm too old and grumpy. Suppose we should update essentials then as well. If we're going to break everything, let's do it properly. I don't like how I suddenly got this error. It's probably because it's in some namespace. Escorca, welcome. Thanks for the follow. All right, let's try it now. Let's just run it. See what happens. Gang affiliates. No gang signs in the chat. Actually, my kids have just started doing this a lot. I don't think it counts as a gang site. Don't forget my alias. Yeah. Look, I'm just gonna give it a run here without the alias first, and then if it works, then we can do it. Let's wait for the build.
It's the whole music. Whole music.
Yeah, so nice. Thanks, Dragon. Deploying. Come on. While we're waiting, what are people planning for Easter? I'm going to do an egg hunt around the backyard with the kids so they don't catch coronavirus. Lachlan! Subscribe for 3 months in a row. Rob's doing nothing. You gotta have eggs. All right, so there we are. Look, that worked. That worked. Beautiful. Now, look, I'm gonna do. You know what? I think I prefer to move this assembly attribute into the app XAML CS. I don't know why. Just because I never look in assembly infos. So Lachlan's got back-to-back Zoom meetings. Glenn's going to eat hot crust buns. Dragon says his neighborhood is painting rocks like eggs and hiding them in their yards. Kids and parents are supposed to walk around a spot them, but leave them for others to find as well. MJ Freelancing had to go and help an elderly neighbor. That is very kind. What did I miss for the fix? The fix was I wasn't quite on the right version of Xamarin.Forms. So I updated Xamarin.Forms and it just worked. Rob says, is there a holiday? Not for you, Rod. Never a holiday for you. All right, let's put an alias in here. Let's try and work out a standard here. Let's just do this. Let's just say alias equals header font, and we'll go black. Beautiful. Yeah, surprised it didn't throw an error. Well, actually, it's kind of interesting because it only threw an exception when I didn't have the Xamarin.Forms using in there. Once it actually could find it. Anyway. Yeah, I'm surprised as well. All right, cool. So we have that. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to work out our design here, right? Actually, the one that's going to be easier to do to start with is when it's collapsed. So let's do the one when it's collapsed, which is going to look like that. Put that up there so I can see it. And this is now going to be header font black. So that is awesome. That embedded fonts. That saves a lot of pain. Lachlan. Yeah, I see. So it was there, but kind of broken. Okay, so let's, this doesn't go in the center anymore. It goes in the left. There is no left. It goes in the start. It goes vertically at the end. Actually, let's have a look at how this animates. Because both of these things are going to animate in, right? Or out. So they sit there. Okay, they just sit down the bottom and then they fade out. Actually, they move up a little bit. See, France and Cannes moves up a little bit. So we want them to be together. and then move up and fade out. Beautiful. And we'll put these in a stack layout. Good old stack layouts. So rare that I use a stack layout, but what we want is we want Khans in white. We want to put this vertically down the bottom. We want to put it horizontally at the start. And we want to apply a margin of some value. It's actually a little bit bigger than that, so let's try 40. All right, beautiful. Actually, it's going to be a little bit higher than that because what we have is we've got another font, another dirty font here. That sits above it. So let's use our app again. Let's see if we can find that font. And oh, there's some chat going on. Yeah, so yeah, America. America. Yeah, I basically do UI challenges on a Friday. So just get different designs and then try and reproduce them. And so you can find some of them on, yeah, let me bring this up. Some of them you can find on my blog when I get around to writing about them, which I'm hoping to do a little bit more of. The other place you can go is to my GitHub as well. So if we go to GitHub, you can see that I've got some pinned here. These are different ones. If you go and have a look at my repositories, you'll find that there's a bunch of them here. I normally prefix them with like a Xamarin UI challenge. Yeah. And my YouTube, which I never know what it is. youtube.com/users. Okay, Philpots. Something. I don't know. I'm just the worst. There we are. So I uploaded a bunch last night, actually. But these are all different UI challenges. Cool. Anyway, I hope that helps. Yeah, I'm doing my best, Rob, to disprove that Xamarin.Forms is just for prototype apps. Okay. Now back to this. So we got Khans. We were going to go and find a different font, weren't we? Oop. So let's try this. Let's try our font app again. One thing I have noticed about this application, let me see if I can, let me share my screen again. There we go. So the question you've just asked, Dragon, is the font on the summary the same font before? I think that Khans is the same. And I think that France there is the same as that one. Hey, Flyken. Welcome. Thanks for joining. But I suspect, I don't know, are these two different? Is that one different to that one? probably. Hell, let's use our font app. Here's the ugly font app. Let's grab this font down here. And let's get the word glamorous. It is up to 7 letters. Okay. Well, we probably don't need the O. Second O. Oh, God. What a terrible, terrible app. Anyway. No, let's get rid of that one. And let's search. Did that? Did I search and it just didn't find anything? All right, let's do this. Let's grab another word. Pooping. Actually, that's a bad word. I suppose I should choose a word which has... Let's try this. Let's try this again. G. This doesn't work very well off screens, as it turns out. Which makes sense. It's just the worst. G, M, O, and R. All it needs is, I think, is it just needs some text to match. G, M, O, R. Yeah, I think it's messed up with the screen artifacts. I agree. All right, let's try taking another photo. I think if I take it further back, couldn't find a match. Well, it actually works better. All right, cool. Let's try this. G-L-A-M-O-R. Glamour. You know, at this point, it's probably easier just to go to Google Fonts. Hey, nice. All right, let's have a look at some of these fonts here. I'm going to go with this one here. Source Sans Pro. Maybe Media Regular. I don't know about this app. Anyway, let's go get a font. Google Fonts. This website sucks too. Yeah, Open Sans Light. It's it's probably about right actually. Oops, clicked the wrong one. Let me type in something from Do you know what? I reckon it's probably right as well. Let me just load up VLC. So here's what we're aiming for. Glamorous. Open Sans Light's pretty close, actually. Let's have a look at another one. Looks like a martyr. We're looking at that. We're looking at maybe that. Yeah, let's go with this one. All right, let's get that one. Download that puppy. Get that font. Martyr light. Put in our solution. Open folder. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Let's embed this puppy. Let's add ourselves an attribute. Sure, why not? Has the little tail on the L. I love the little tail. All right. I'm definitely going to have to start this again, right? To embed this font. Now, what I want to see is this font the right one for this here? So we'll say text equals France, and then we'll say text color is white. Font family equals body font light. Font size equals, I think it's a bit too light. I mean, it's got the font, there's no doubt about that. But I think it's a little bit thicker. Let's have a look at it back here. Let's put it in capitals. Font attribute mode. It never works. I don't think it works with a lot of fonts, actually. Yeah, see, it's not even going to change it because it knows. It knows. All right, well, let's get... let's try a regular font and see what happens. And let's see if I can copy straight from a zip file into here. Sure you can. Embed this puppy. Copy always, because that's how I roll. Yeah, this is so much easier. So let's, just for giggles, let's put it in there. Let's say Mata regular. Beautiful. Yeah, so Rob says this last half hour of messing around trying to find a single font shows the glamorous side of software development that we usually don't show in movies. Yeah. It's only because I get a bit carried away trying to reproduce it as close as I can. And fonts are pretty important. But yeah, it's a bit boring. Maybe I should. All right. Maybe I should spend more time before a stream working this stuff out. All right. So that's a much better font size or weight. And I would say that that is the same font as well. Beautiful. Spacing's about right. I think I'm going to go with that. It's entertaining. Sure. That app is useful, yeah. All right, so clearly we're going to have to do something with animating that. And if we have a look at our video, what do? We go, it goes up a little bit, but not as far as that. Actually, it goes up at the same speed. Same speed as the actual cell. If we look at this going up here, I'm pretty sure it's the same speed. Oop, it just fades out. Okay, cool. Let's do some animation. Clean up some stuff here first of all. All right. So I played around with this, right? In terms of having some weird name value collection for my animation states. I should probably continue using this. Collapsed text. Yeah, thanks, Rob and Dragon. Yeah, this embedded font stuff, yeah, is built in now. Okay, so when this is collapsed, it's going to have an opacity of 1. When it's expanded, it's going to have an opacity of 0. sorry, state dot expanded. Cool. And its current value is going to be collapsed. Yeah, the embedded fonts, I haven't played with it before. The embedded fonts look like they work really, really well. Okay, so here we're doing all our animations. I've just got a visitor. Hey, Alex.
I'm just relaxing.
You're just relaxing. Well, I think you'll need to get out in a moment. Why? Well, because I'm talking to the stream. When am I finished? I reckon sorry people. I reckon I'll be about, got a couple of fonts to animate, maybe a drop shadow, maybe an hour?
Hour.
An hour.
1 hour.
Hi, Alex Philpotts.
I mean 1 hour.
Yeah, I mean 1 hour.
Wait, that's 26
60 minutes, that's right.
seconds.
No, it's not 60 seconds, it's 60 minutes.
That is so long.
It is so long, but Mum is there. Mum will look after you. Why don't you go and ask her for a snack? Could you shut the door behind you? Thanks, buddy. That worked pretty well. All right. God, what am I doing? Okay, I'm doing animations. See, he uses magic numbers too. So this is probably not required. I could probably do this much easier actually, but I'm just going to stick with this because I want to work out a nice way of doing these animations. So we'll call this text. Oh God, that's a terrible name. All right. Let's just make that O. God's sake. All right. And then we'll say, what am I doing? I want to just say, I want to give this a name. Crikey, I've made this harder than it needs to be. So this is my collapsed text. Okay. All I really need to do is this, right? I just need to say my collapsed text.opacity equals the opacity that we're animating. Yeah, I think that's right. And it looked kind of linear to me. So we'll say go from your current value to the value state we're transitioning to. We'll make it linear. All right. And then we need to add it in here as well. Updating the UI directly instead of using bindings. For shame. Yeah. Yeah. Is that what I called that? I never said I was a good coder. All right. So actually, no, that's not what I wanted to do. That's wrong. I wanted to do this one. So that means that when it's expanding, for half the time it takes to get the cutout, it's going to change that opacity. And I also need to change its position as well. So I could add another animation here, another one here, but I could also cheat, right? And I could just get the value and do a translate y equals the fly up value. Although I bet you the fly up value, yeah, starts at this dot height. Ugh. All right. Let's do it the simple way first and then refactor. Nah. What do you think, people? What should we do? I could cheat and I could say, so this cutout position here, right? I could use that value. I think that's not going to be right because that cell animation goes from there to there. I don't know. Maybe I need attributes on this stuff. Oh well, let's do this. If you've got a good idea of what I should do here, let me know. For the moment, I'm just going to do this. We can tidy it up, can't we? Ah, okay. You're not sure what I'm trying to animate right now. I think that the problem is I'm not sure either. All I'm trying to do is this. So if we have a look at the video here, right, I've got these two bits of text. As the cell moves up, they become invisible and they also move up as well, right? You watch, here they go, here they go. Oops, see, they move up with the cell. I could, technically, I suppose, I could put them in the same, in a container with this at that position and they'll move by themselves. That's an option. Why don't we do that? All right. So instead, we've got a media element here. If we were to put a, what would you put around this? Maybe a frame? Yeah, I could probably, could also do some math based on the time into the animation or based on how much opacity is left if you want to keep it in that callback. Yeah, I could. See, the problem is, I guess, I want this to be, yeah, I think I will keep it in the callback. Sorry, I'm just going to bounce around a few ideas here. And the reason why is because I kind of want to keep this a little bit responsive, right? Because you just know that an iPhone screen is going to be a different height, right? Which means that padding down to here is potentially going to be different. Is it? Just because on a different size screen, you might have this taking up a different proportion. I don't know. You like the container idea better? All right, let's do the container idea. Let's do this. So let's say frame. Let's commit frame with a padding of 0 and those horrible shadows. All right, let's see what it's doing to my, oops, not here. Let's see what it's doing to my layout as I do that. Let's just check this is updating. Actually, you're not going to see that anyway. Shadow. False. Zoinks. Hot reload. Crapped it. All right. Well, while hot reload has failed, let's give this the name of video. If you're using Sharpnado, you could have beautiful shadows. Could I though? All right. So there we are. We haven't broken too much, but now if I go and I get this stack layout and I throw that on top of my media element. Really? Can a frame only have one child? Kill me. Yep. Well, I could just get rid of the frame altogether, right? I think. And then that. Let's see what we get. This is how the sausage is made. Okay, we still got a video there. Beautiful. Is that updating? Yeah, that's updating. I'm surprised that's in the right spot. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's in the right spot to me. I reckon that needs to be at the start as well. That's a hot redraw issue. Okay, it's in the right spot. Doesn't need a red background. Yeah, the movement's good. Movement works. But it's in magic number time now, because now what I have to do is I have to go and work out how big our cell height is. Margin of, nah, let's not do that. Let's just do that. And then do a translation Y of like 250 here. Come on, Visual Studio. Epic fail. All right. Yeah, it's supposed to be the bottom left. That's correct. And that's going to be too high, I think. Unfortunately, Hot Reload does some weird stuff with the media element. So I reckon that's about right. Goes up and out. Yeah, that'll do us. What do you reckon? Cool. All right, let's tackle this one then. Yeah, Dragon says, looks pretty good. Might try without the debug running so you don't have to worry about hot reload issues. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. It's coming alive. It's alive. All right. Now what we need is we need this text here. That one goes away, and then we've got this one. So I'm going to assume a few things here. I'm going to assume that this text is probably in a scroll view. And then I'll probably just use a, down here, we'll do a stack layout. And here we'll do a scroll view. All right, something like that. Looks about right to me. All right, I'm going to move this up onto my screen up above. And let's add some text in. Oh, wait on. First of all, let's see what happens with the animation of it. All right, so that's kind of interesting, right? So the animation of this one does not change. It's in just a fixed position. And it just does its opacity in. That's it. Okay, cool. Which means that we don't want to put that inside of this grid. Inside of that grid. Instead, we want to just put it here. So we'll do a stack layout. Bom, bom, bom. At the bottom of the screen. Let's add a couple of labels in here. We'll just cheat for the moment. We'll make it black. We know nothing is ever black. We want our font. Not sure if that makes things harder or easier to implement as far as making sure text doesn't overflow the canvas area. Well, I think it'll be fine because it's just sitting on top, right? So if we say font family, let's try this. Family equals body font header font. Header font. Of course, I can't remember. Header font black. And we'll say horizontal options is center. We'll say our text is center. Beautiful. It's tiny. It's tiny. It's down the bottom. That is true. And what I should do, so Dragon, is absolutely move all this stuff into an embedded resource. In a style. Absolutely. I'll do that a little bit later on. So text color is black. How to position this? It's going to be annoying to do. So we're going to have cons. We're going to have another label underneath, which is going to be our body font regular. And this is going to say France. So what I'm doing is I'm just doing this here. Stack layout down the page. Stick in a box view for that. Hey, Stress for you. How are you? Do I have a Mac? I do. I do have a Mac for testing on an iOS version. I do. So I'll make this in the center. Like what I might do. Have this. We'll give it a height request of maybe 3. Oops. And I'm just going to work out what color this puppy is. Just by getting that into Adobe XD. Boom, 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 boom. And we'll have a look. We'll take a guess at that one. All right. that. Width request, or maybe make it 100. All right, it looks all right so far. This wants to be much smaller. All right. Now, let's throw in a scroll view. Vertical scroll view. And then let's put a label in here. And you know what I found works well when you're doing these designs? It turns out that designers are really, really lazy. So I bet you if I do a search for that text, I'll find the exact text they copied. And there we go. So I'm just going to copy the paragraph that this designer's copied. Yeah, Google's the best. Luxury rent cars. Except for when you're... All right, I'll just grab the paragraph of text that they've used. Beautiful. It's using the same font style as this one. So we'll create ourselves some styles here in a moment. Let's see what's happening with our... our layout here. All right. That doesn't look great. Let's give this a margin in from the sides. And let's up the font size. I can see what's going to happen here already. We're going to have to take more control over the size of this, aren't we? All right, we're getting there. All right, so it's actually a much lighter font, isn't it? In here, it's a lighter font. Good thing we left the light font in before. Zoiks. We are going to have to tweak the line height. You're absolutely right. I reckon the font a little bit bigger. The line height. There's a line height now, right? Line height. I don't know what this means. I think 1.1, 1.2. There we go. Beautiful. Make this a little bit bigger. All right. That's getting better. We need to do some spacing here, but we have scrolling. That's good. We can still collapse it. We obviously need to deal with the opacity. It's 1.24. Is it? Is it though? Let's add a bit of margin around this. Just your default starting point. I like it. All right, let's have a look at where we're at now. Yeah, that's looking a little bit better. A little bit better. That's too dark. Can you put a negative line spacing? I think you can. Let's try break it. Let's see what happens. No. No, it looks like it goes to its default value of 1. Oh, wait on. What would happen if I said 0.5? Yeah, 0.5. Yep, 0.5. Cool. Looks awesome. 0.25. Yep. That is it. We're done. I'm just going to check this in and we're good to go. You know, that actually looks like most capture bits of text that I see. let's go with that one. All right, let's do some final adjustments here. The padding needs to come in more. This needs to be a little less wide, a little less dark. Yeah, exactly. Get rid of the need for scroll views. Okay, we're going to make that a little less wide. We're going to actually reckon that's going to be okay. We just need a different color for our fonts. Hey, James Divis. Welcome. I'm pleased you pleased you get some efficiency. At least if you're watching me as your code, you can feel better about your own code. I'm going to add some margin into this puppy. I'm going to add 20 to the side, 0 to the top, 20 to the right, and 10 to the bottom. So it doesn't collide with the bottom of the screen, because that looks terrible. Now that looks terrible. Zero. Space bucks. I have no idea what the space bucks are for. Hey, I'm setting the wrong value here. I don't want this. I don't want to change this value. That value should stay the same. And the value of my scroll view for it should change. 20, 20. Give it a 10 at the bottom. Uh-oh, I broke Visual Studio. Looks like there's a bit more. There is. There is. Let's add a little bit more in there. Let's add a 20 in there. Okay, it needs to come down a little bit. See, it depends on the height of the screen. This is where it always gets weird, right? Doing this sort of stuff. 4, 8, 12, 16. All right. Increments of 5. I normally just type in random numbers until it feels right. Does that make me a bad person? Probably does make me a bad person, actually. There's a lot more spacing in between here. I'm going to get this color right as well. Hang on a second. All right. Oops. All right. Now let's have a look at the size of these screens. The size of these screens are about the same. I don't know that there's much we could do with the bottom here. If I was doing this design, I would add a slight gradient at the bottom here. So that bottom bit fades out. Because it looks a bit nasty. This needs to be a little bit narrower. But look, it's about right, isn't it? You can let it bleed into the edge. Yeah, I mean, I actually explicitly added that there, right? So we could do this like that, so that it goes all the way to the bottom. For sure. I'm gonna make this 64 because you guys have been talking about numbers like that. See what I would do. If we wanted to do that, I would make this a grid. I'd then get my friend the pancake and or magic gradients and do a little gradient up here at the bottom. But before we do that, let's get the text appearing right in the right spot. So we want to do an opacity, don't we? So we're going to give this puppy a name because all of this happens at the same time. Name equals expanded text. It seems like just such overkill for for just adjusting the opacity of it. So I'm saying we're going to have something called expanded text. And we're going to say when it's collapsed, it's invisible. When it's expanded, it is visible. Cool. And then we're going to say, create ourselves an animation here. We don't need this one because we got rid of this because we just made it move with its container. So I'm going to have a very similar thing here. Expanded text animation. Expanded text is going to go from its current value to its new state in a linear fashion. And then we're going to say, we're going to set when it happens. When does it happen? It happens as the fly-up's coming out before it's finished. All right. And let me check those values again. Yeah, I really do think it could be made much nicer.
Today we're gonna code lots with Mr.
Hey,
Kim, Phil, Potts, and
Juan Piaz,
amazing you'll be.
welcome. We're just about to get some. Okay, when's this come in? This comes in. We're just about doing some some animation here. About halfway through there. Okay, about halfway through. So that's going to happen at about point 0.8 and go to 0.9 maybe. And this would happen at point. Maybe. All right. One problem we have. Let's have a look. One problem we have is it starts visible. So we want to do that. We want to say its opacity to start with is equal to 0. Whoop. See you later. All right. Comes up. Beautiful. There we are. That looks pretty good. The tune seems a bit more echoier than normal. Oh, is it? Maybe got some effects on it. Okay. We got this here. We click on France. Click on here. We go up. We can do that. If I was doing this, I would actually probably. It makes sense to me that this would be a slide up card actually. That, you know, if you sort of flicked up, this would go up even further. What do you reckon? What improvements do we need to make before we call this one a day? We should run it on a Mac. See what we get on a Mac. Oh, crap. Hang on. That face when you realize your Mac hasn't been plugged in. All right. Where's my mouse gone? Okay, let's have a look. So that looks all right. I'm not opposed to that. That's pretty good. Like that. It's a bit of a shorter screen. That's why it's not a perfect match there. Oh, missed it. This font's a little bit different, but let's not worry about that too much. How's it look on iOS? Let's find out. Where did I get the video for the media element? I got the, so that's actually kind of interesting. Well, it's actually not that interesting, but there's a place, not luxury. This is where I stole the text from. If we go to, can't remember the name, Pexels. Look, they even use it as their header. This has the most awesome free videos. So if you want like backgrounds for your, for your streams and things like that, and they're all just free. Yeah, really, really cool. Ooh, smoke. Yeah, that's so cool. But the interesting, watch that all day. The interesting thing about this video actually is, and this is what I was sort of testing out. At the moment, the video that's embedded into here is absolutely huge. So this is it here. Let's have a look how big it is. So here it is here. Let's open it in VLC. Like, it's actually huge. Right? So it's a 1080 video, I think. No, it's not. It's actually 3,840. If you can see that. 3,840 by 2160. So it's a huge video. 54 meg. So realistically, if you're doing this in a real application, you would, of course, cut it in half, shrink down its resolution a bit. But I wanted to see how well this thing would handle it. And I'm amazed that it can handle a video that size. So apparently cans can be a little bit bigger. Well, let's go with your numbering strategy, make it 32. Let's go and, what was I going to do? I was going to test it on an iOS device. We'll test it on a simulator. Oops, that's not going to work, is it? All right, and I think we can probably almost call this one done, unless you've got some other suggestions. And then we can think up another one to do next week. The checklist. Who would have thought? The checklist. Fonts and labels, done. Airplane icon, done. Animation speeds, yeah, they're okay. Drop shadow on cell. Is there a drop shadow on the cell? Drop shadow on the cell. Come on. Give me a break. That's going to have to be done in Skier as well, isn't it? Beautiful. All right. Anyway, let's test our iOS. So again, I'm running this on a simulator on my Mac over Wi-Fi. So I expect its performance will be really, really bad. Somebody on YouTube posted one they'd like to do. Let me see if I can quickly find that. First of all, let's do one thing at a time. While we're waiting for that, I'll see if I can find it. All right. So that's interesting. It works when it starts up, actually. It's probably going a little bit slow because like I said, I'm under Wi-Fi, so it's sending all the frames. So let's have a look. So that's it. Seems to work fine. Now, I kind of think that safe spaces ish. What is that? That's an iOS platforming thing, isn't it? It's a platform specific, yeah. Something iOS. Use safe areas. True. Would that do it? Without looking up the docs. Totally cured. I think use safe areas is just going to like truncate it, right? Hey, there's some couple of links here. Let's have a look at some of these links. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah, interesting. Lol. It also got rid of my ability to click on it for some reason. Do 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 doom 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 doom. PT Dave, thank you so much for subscribing. 10 months in a row. Very much appreciated. Thank you. So if I did safe area insets, I'm assuming this is an inset, so I could say 0, 0, 0, 20, 0, 0. Oh, so, yeah. Okay, let's have a look at that. Is that what I had before? Page.use. Yeah, I think that's what I had before. I'm pretty sure my simulator is going to die here when I do this. But it would if I was running. Yeah, it was. What would be the right thing to do with this design? That's the question. It did weird things. So I think what it... Yeah, let's have a look at what it did. I feel like the video didn't... So the video element did not adhere to the safe elements, the safe space. But the layout did. It also broke this as well. Hang on. Ah, you think it got pushed down? Hot reload does not work with this. Okay. It got pushed down because of the safe area at the top, but I think it got pushed out of the canvas and into the grid. Because if I look at the text, it's much longer. Can we do some negative margins or something for the video element? Oy. Yeah, look at that. It did such weird things. All right. I'm going to have to do some proportional stuff here, I think, because this is not right. But yeah, that video element. So, because that's interesting because I've said to make my canvas, like my canvas here is filling the screen, right? And because I have safe insets on, it's going across, oops, sorry. It's going across like this area here. And so that's all I can draw on. But the video goes outside of it. Interesting. You know what I'm going to do for the moment? I'm going to get rid of that. How's that estimate going? Referring to when I told my boy I'd be an hour. Yeah, that's a good point. It's a developer estimate. That's how developer estimates work. I kind of knew that an hour was a lie. I got to admit. All right. But I will have to go shortly. I think I'm going to probably play around with some of those timings, some of those values a little bit later on, off stream. All right, I'm going to leave it like this for the moment. But I feel, okay, I'm gonna add myself some work items. I'm going to assign them all a size of 3. Oops, don't need a console. I don't think realistically, a design like this, right, where you've got a full video, I'm guessing they're going to want it to go all the way up around here as well. So I don't think we do need safe areas. That's what I'm going to claim anyway. But what I do think probably should do is, I feel like, and again, this is the problem with working with this sort of stuff. I feel like this should not be a specific value, but should be a percentage of the screen height. You know what I mean? We can probably quickly make that change, actually. Let's see if we can make that change. Because we got this variable, which is the cell height. We're going to have fly up value. Let's just quickly try it. A proportion. And then somewhere we'll default this to be, I don't know, we'll just on size allocated. Let's do this. Let's say our fly up height equals just over half, right? So, or in our case, it would be the height divided by, times by 0.4. And then we'll see how many magic numbers we have here. So that would be that minus the fly up height. And we would also have to do something like Dragon says, make sure you go back in the chat and look at the other Dribble links for ideas on next projects. Beautiful. So theoretically, the fly up should be higher now. Yeah, and I think it is. But then we need to adjust this. That's okay, we can do that. We can do that at the same time. We can say the expanded text. Can we do this? Can we say... it's going to have to be minus some value. Because I think if we do that, it will now fly up to the right height. It'll be a little bit different. Okay, the plant shop. Let's have a look. Let me... There we are. And then it needs to add the circle radius, basically. So what's our circle radius? It's 50. I think that would solve our problem. Okay, let's have a look at, while this is sort of, I know it's about to finish running. I think I should probably blog about this one because it's kind of interesting and involves lots of elements I haven't played with before. Yeah, so that's definitely better now that it comes up a proportional amount. The other thing as well, I think I should do, Lewis, is I should do a 10-minute video of just the highlights. So not me rambling on, making mistakes. That would be good. Because if somebody's having a look at these later on, they don't want to watch 3 hours of me fumbling. All right, I'm going to have a look at this on Android, and then I might call it quits. Please blog. I will. Because nobody watches, like, nobody watches VODs. Like the VODs from Twitch. Let's see what disaster this made quickly. So we've got our video here. So this should now go up. And it does. It goes, I can feel an on-platform here because it's going up 40%. I wonder why the text is in a different position. That's weird. Yeah, the stream. Dragon, I've watched a couple of your streams that I've missed. Yeah, they're pretty rough. I agree. I wouldn't watch them. All right. Okay, let's look. I'm gonna call this one here for the moment. I'll do a few little touch ups after the stream. just because it'll be me just mucking around with ridiculous little things, but I'll try and make it nice and then I'll blog about it. The other thing as well, let's have a look at, there was a couple of things. Let's have a look at what we might tackle next. So what I do want to tackle next, I think, is perhaps ones that don't have a ridiculous amount of animation in them, and ones that might be more useful for people creating designs. Because some of the ones I do are pretty ridiculous. So this is the plant shop. Yeah. Bit of shared transition happening between there and there. So this is not a bad one. Don't mind this one. Chemical elements. There's a fair amount going on in this. It's not impossible. Like, all this is that cell growing, expanding out that content. That animating that. An iOS blur effect. Yeah. Sure. I'll give the same estimate I gave my kid. Yeah, probably take about an hour. That's rubbish. That's not going to happen. Yeah, maybe. Okay. My favorite there, I think, is the plant one. The other one I was going to show you is this one. Somebody put this as a link. Sorry, as a comment in YouTube. What do you think of this one? I kind of don't want one that relies on too many graphical elements, though. That's the other problem, because they're hard to reduce. Yeah, it's kind of nice. I like that one. Yeah, I like how the image scales with the scroll. Actually, scrolling is not something I've played with an awful lot. Aren't designers the bomb? Love designers. I think somebody's done this one, haven't they? I feel like somebody's done this. Or maybe it was one you mentioned quite a while ago, Dragon. Maybe it's just one that you told me about a long, long time ago, and it's stuck in my mind. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to add it into my likes here. Oh, this was another one I was thinking. This one's kind of cool. I like a few things about this. I like how it adds things to the cart. Anyway, something for me to have a think about. All right, so listen, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to finish up the stream. We didn't do the drop shadow on the cell. What time is it? No, I'm going to be pushing it to get this done. I'll do the drop shadow on the cell offline, I think. And we'll tackle that one. We'll tackle a new one next week. Alrighty. But what I need to do is I need to think about fine-tuning different sizes. make it all proportional. Beautiful. All right, and I'm going to take down those ones. All right, I think I better go because my wife's looking after the children. So have a great Easter, everyone. I suppose we should go back to bed. Thanks, Dragon. Thanks, Lewis. Thanks, thanks everyone. In fact, for joining in. I've got an end screen. Hang on. I don't know if I got my microphone on the end screen. I do. So I think I can roll credits. Let's see if this works. All right. Anyway, well, take care, everyone. I'm gonna do a raid. So hang around for a second if you can, and we'll see if we can work out a raid. Well, here's the other thing. I thought that the next UI project. Let me come back here for a second. Sorry, I'm a terrible streamer. I thought the next UI project should be a real world usage. All right, I'll tell you the real world usage app that I have in mind that I'm thinking of building, and I was talking to Lachlan about it, is an app for weekly Xamarin. So to advertise all the people in the community, to be able to, view the videos and view all the stuff online there as well. So maybe that would be the thing to do. Maybe we start from Adobe XD all the way through and actually go and implement that. Would that be interesting? Or would you prefer just the the razzle dazzle animations? Sounds good. All right, weekly Xamarin, beautiful, fantastic. All right, well, listen, let's let me plan that. Let's start that. All right, cool. I'm gonna sign off. Well, actually, I'm going to go and try and raid the live coders because they have the live coders conference on. Actually, is James on at the moment? I think James is on at the moment. We should raid James, shouldn't we? All right. So say hi to James. I'll get some people to join this raid and let's go give James a bit of trouble, hey? All right. Well, take care, everyone. See you next time. Bye for now.